in your family.
That is well said, especially, you know, you having diabetes, you going through, you know, this process of kidney dialysis alone is a lot.
Yes,
and
it is.
then living, you know, having the support of your family makes all the difference. As you mentioned, there are people who probably don't have anyone, you know, to help them along with this process. So let me ask you this question. Given what you've said, and particularly since you engage with multiple healthcare providers, are you concerned about providers not being vaccinated and giving you care or being around you because you are going into these facilities for long periods of time? Like, you're not there for 15 or 20 minutes for an office visit. You're there for hours at a time. So do you have any level of concern about healthcare providers not being vaccinated around you?
In the very beginning, I have to say that I was a little bit, not a lot, but I questioned those that I have in contact with every day that help me, because they're going from one patient to the other. But as I sat there and thought about it, I felt very comfortable. And I think it's only because of the staff relationship that I have with everyone there and the conversations that have taken place with those individuals that provide services to me, that it really alleviated a lot of fear. So I'm okay with it. I am. I would say that at least 90% of those that work on the days that I'm there actually have taken it, and they've shown me their cards. They have increased additional safety precaution measures in the facility that they didn't have before. We can't even bring food and drinks in no longer and have that when needed. It's only to be utilized when it's absolutely necessary. I mean, masks are required all the time. You know, the Saturday, my blood sugar level was in the 70s, and I needed a pick-me-upper. I had no more candies or sweets with me, so I had to receive something from the facility, and it was milk product based, and I'm allergic to milk. But I tried to take it and took one sip and started throwing up. So luckily for me, someone in the facility that I know very well, an older gentleman that sits across the room from me that I have a rapport with, saw that. And it just so happens he had some of the same kind of snacks that I had before, and he shared those with me. But I have to say that I'm very comfortable, and I feel 100% supportive of the team members at my location where I'm at. I'm okay.
Good. That's great to hear. You know, everyone has their own comfort level. And with you, again, having your journey, being impacted by diabetes the way that you are, I know that that probably was a concern for you and your loved ones, because, you know, it's kind of like a group effort here. It's not just you by yourself.
Correct.
Your healthcare providers, they're your mom, and all of those who, you know, surround you and talk to you. So, given we've been in the pandemic the last 18 months, and the last 18 months really aren't your COVID isn't your real challenge, but it has added a layer to your lifestyle. So how has the pandemic challenged your view about your health and your loved one's health?
I have to tell you that prior to the pandemic, I really did not venture out as much as I used to. I used to be very active. That stopped with the treatments. I don't travel as much as I used to because of treatments, although you can make arrangements. And I now have the mindset to be able to do that. I think in the very beginning, up until about a year and a half, 2 years ago, my thought process was you can't go anywhere but to treatment and home because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what to do. And after I experienced those episodes that I told you, I surely didn't want to be in another country or city or state where no one knew what the hell to do to help me, let alone be somewhere where perhaps there was no one around to even assist me. I do a lot of traveling. Well, let me say this. I know a lot of people. My inner circle is very small for those who really know me. So I'm very independent and private. I could see myself off in Hawaii or someplace and no one would know that I didn't pass out because I'm out hiking alone and I didn't have an episode. So I had to rethink every aspect, my independence of giving up my place of residency, had to give up a vehicle, couldn't drive for 3 years, being driven to every appointment, using a walker. Wow. When, I'm 56 now, but at the time, I wasn't even 50, and I could not equate that. I just could not. But with all that being said, the one thing that I honestly had was that I kept a very positive attitude about the end result, which was I'm going to make it to get this kidney. And I kept saying that. And that has helped within this process of this. When I say this pandemic, because although I can't get that first appointment to the 23rd of December, I told myself after that, 2022 is not going to be like 20 and 21. This year, I was already on the list, but this year in November, December, I should be waiting to receive a phone call to get a kidney. That's not going to happen. And the reason for that is because I have not finished the other portion, half of the test and recommendations that have to be signed off by all of these people in order for me to go and be able for that phone call to come. So that means I'm going to have those health providers that are already pulling for me to be my advocate, but I'm going to have to be my own, which means I'm going to have to demand those appointments. I'm going to have to call them every day. If I have to go up there and wait, I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have to really fight to get that stuff and get it done. And that's something that I don't have a choice, because if I allow what is happening on the outside to affect me, I won't be looking to receive that call for another 2 years possibly. And I'm not willing to wait. I'm just not. You have to be on the list for at least 5-year period. This is it. I'm ready to go. And 2 more additional years is not an option for me. I just don't want that. I don't want to have that opportunity to pass my way. And since then, I have had individuals that I know and I don't know, but I have met through the hospital or another patient or someone just having a conversation because they see my arm and the tubing that is there, and they know it's about something, and they have the courtesy of asking, and I share with them. I have had complete strangers offer me their kidney. They don't even know me. And I'm gonna tell you, the moment that that happened to me the very first time, I broke down in tears at Nugget Market, and I'm about to do it again because this is not a family member. And I couldn't believe that someone who I had no connection with would be so unselfish enough to help me. And we don't see that in this world today. I cannot sit here and fight with people about a vaccination, not taking that, not following the criteria that I need to better my body to be able to get this transplant. I can't put up walls. I can't put up fights. It's not fair when people are willing to do something for me. So I'm doing it. And that's been, for me, the most rewarding aspect of this journey. I continue to be blessed with people that are wanting to sacrifice for me. And I'm going to take that word sacrifice away. They want to give me a gift so that I can continue living. And that in itself, words cannot express. I just cannot express how that feels. Because I realize that we're going to leave this earth one day. But to be honest with you, Dr. Davis, up until the time that I actually ended up becoming a diabetic and having to go through the treatment, did I ever really think about the possibility of leaving this earth? And when I had those experiences with my sugar dropping that low and experiencing what my body experienced and what I felt like, I wasn't ready. And I don't know if you ever are, but that's something that I don't want to experience anytime soon. So the answer to your question is, there's nothing that could come at this point other than God asking me to come home that I'm not going to do to make sure that I'm here as long as possible. That's just the bottom line.
Well, that's a good bottom line. It's a good bottom line. Thank you so much, Mr. Margain, for sharing your story. It is so moving. Your positivity, your disposition about your journey and about the process and about the ups and the downs and about the outcome is so inspiring. And I wish you the best. And I know you're going to get that call after you go through your checklist and not have your anxiety attack. I think it sounds like you worked through that and you'll be on your way December 23rd. So we'll be thinking of you, and thank you again for sharing your story.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And I'm really pleased and happy to see that you're helping a community with all the efforts and programs that you're offering, and much continued success to you, my dear.
Thank you so much. And we'll see you again, Mr. Margain, hopefully after your transplant.
Yes, you will.
Okay. Have a good evening.
You as well. Bye-bye.